And thank you for joining us this evening. We have the great pleasure tonight to have Bob Highfill. Did I pronounce that right?
You did, yeah.
And he has joined us up here from Stockton from CalTrans. And he's going to let us know about a lot of the projects that CalTrans upcoming for the next few months and hit some of the high points and that stuff. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough, yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Now for this, the upcoming stuff, so, how's the state of CalTrans and everything? How's...
Yeah, the state of CalTrans is very good. We're getting into the spring and summer
Yes.
seasons, so
Yes.
construction projects are
Yep.
ramping up throughout our district, and yeah, we're real excited about some of the stuff that's coming
Now,
up.
for people who may not know, District 10, now what area does District 10 cover?
So District 10 covers 8 counties.
Okay,
Those counties are Alpine, Amador, Calaveras, Mariposa. Those are the 4 counties that I look over
Sure.
projects there.
yeah,
Also Merced, Stanislaus, San Joaquin, and Tuolumne counties. So those are the 8 counties in District 10,
So-
and there are 12 counties statewide. I'm sorry, 12 districts
12. And geographically, you have to be one of the large, you have a pretty good sized chunk, don't you?
Pretty good sized chunk,
Yeah.
although the number of projects in my 4 counties, although very important, pale in comparison to
Right.
our public information officers, say, who's involved with San Joaquin County. There's a huge project, the channel, the I-5 viaduct channel project that's going on that's kept him very busy. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a workload kind of distribution.
Oh, yeah. We're a little slower paced up here.
Good place to start. But I'm enjoying, I'm enjoying learning more about the people up here in the calm foothill mountain communities, and
Yeah.
they're so vested in their communities and what's going on.
One of the things I want to say is thank you for what you guys do. And I mean that sincerely, because in a lot of, in our mountain areas, especially with 88, 4, 108, we're trying to get, for the wintertime, especially with the snow plowing and everything, that keeps the winter economy rolling, unless they can get to the ski resorts, unless they can get to the, unless they can get, have access. And then you guys do a wonderful job at that. You really do. I know, lots of times CalTrans sometimes becomes the punching bag, so to
Sure.
speak, as far as some of the organizations. But I think hopefully you guys, your crews sense that up here in these areas. I know there's a real appreciation for what you guys do, because I know that without what you guys do, our areas wouldn't function. It's not for us. It's not just complaining about a pothole. For us, especially for the winter operations and stuff like that, you keep us rolling.
Well,
And
it's
thank
really
you.
nice. Really nice to hear, and I can tell you how important that is to our maintenance crews and to CalTrans in general, and especially in District 10. No one likes not getting where, not being able to get where they
Yes.
want to go.
Yeah.
But it's for public safety, and it's for the safety of our workers to
Yeah.
make those decisions, get the passes open as quickly as possible, but as safely as possible. And this past year, I experienced my first round of pass openings. Actually, I came on board in February. So I had my first winter, and I don't know if this was good or bad, but we had such a mild winter.
Yeah.
And the goal every year is to have Ebbets, Sonora, and Monitor passes open the Friday before Memorial Day, and we were
Yeah.
able to achieve that goal far ahead
Oh, yes.
of that goal, just because it was such a dry winter. But it's not just clearing the snow. Anytime in a winter situation, there could be debris in the road, there could be down trees. They may need to replace or repair ditches. There's myriad other factors that go into play that need to be cleared or repaired so that we can open the passes and
Yeah.
motors can get through safely. So that's important for people to understand.
Well, I know on Ebbets a few years ago, there was, there wasn't much road left to clear in one spot. You guys had a section that was, I think it was like 200 feet or something like that, where you had to redo, there wasn't a road there to clear.
To
It
clear.
had to be- yeah.
Yeah, that can happen. And also you can open them and then have them close. We had
Right.
kind of a late spring storm a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago, and we had to close the
Yeah.
passes again.
Yeah.
So that happens as well. And we're able to take that opportunity to do some repaving work. And so that was important. So we're always looking for those windows of opportunity to improve the roadways. But
Yeah.
getting back to that, we understand, believe me, how important the economies, how important it is to have those roads open to support the tourism and the folks getting up to those areas for businesses.
The interactions I've had with you, with the CalTrans, you guys here, that's why we really want to say thank you as well, because you can tell that your guys and the crews here and everything else is they know that they know their infrastructure. They know that they're, what they do matters, and they treat it, and it's been nice.
Yeah.
So,
most of the guys I speak with, and women, have been with CalTrans for decades.
This is their home.
This is their home,
Yeah.
and especially in the mountain communities.
Yeah.
They've really taken ownership and really planted roots.
It's their
roots
stuff.
here. It's their area. They know the roads like the back of their hand, and know the people, and that's I've gained so much information just from talking with our maintenance crews and maintenance teams that are up in this area. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, thanks. Let's see. The overview. What's some of the stuff heading our way this summer?
Sure. Well, let's talk about some of the projects we have of note coming up in Calaveras County, and in no particular order. I guess probably most people would want to know about the wagon trail realignment, so we can start there. So this project is proposing to realign a segment of State Route 4 that will help improve operations between Copperopolis and Angels Camp. Urban elements such as concrete, curb, gutter, and sidewalks are not proposed. Trees and other natural elements will be preserved to the maximum extent practicable. Slopes and natural fill will be used instead of retaining walls wherever feasible. Phase 1 of the project is approved and ready to bid, and funds should be allocated by the California Transportation Commission on June 23rd. And as soon as the funds are allocated, the plan is to bid this project hopefully in August and September. So we're looking at later this year.
When you're talking about some of the treatments around the roadway, is the idea to make it so it kind of blends in a little more? Because sometimes road improvements can be very stark as far as, is the idea behind this to actually make the project so it kind of blends?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know that's true of other projects as well. For instance, in Mariposa County, in 2006, there was a massive rock slide at Ferguson, and so that roadway's been blocked since 2006, and we're beginning to start a project to clear all that debris and actually build a shed that will protect motorists and reopen the access on 140 to citizens in Mariposa, El Portal, and another entrance into Yosemite National Park. And the artist's rendering of that shed, it's going to have native rock on it, it's going to have timbers, and it's going to just really blend in nicely with the aesthetic and the natural surroundings. So that's something that I would definitely look at.
I know this is kind of a weird thing, but a segue from that, has that type of an arrangement ever been suggested at all from on Carson, just before Kirkwood, that area where that always has intermittent, the Carson Spur area that always has intermittent closures for avalanche control?
Yes.
Is that an area that, maybe something like that? And probably not in the future, but I know.
It might not. I mean, I don't know, but I know that's an area where rock slides and avalanches are very,
it's consistent.
Very common,
Yeah.
This is a situation in Mariposa on 140 where the roadway is actually blocked, and you look at different proposals. So what are we going to do? Are we going to build a tunnel or burrow into the mountain and have an interior tunnel, so to speak? That's hard to say. And that really wasn't feasible from a cost standpoint, and also a time of delivery. Would we maybe build a bridge over the Merced River? Well, it's federally protected as wild and scenic, so that wasn't an option.
That's not going to happen. Yeah.
So in this case, this shed will be able to withstand any future
boulders
slide
coming
and
down
just coming off of it. So that's kind of what I imagine it would take to build a shed or something like that at the Carson Spur. It's just in an area where those types of activities are fairly common every year.
Yeah, especially after a heavy snow load. You always gotta, because I don't know if people have watched when they go through there. They should probably look up to the right and see all the infrastructure you guys have way up on that hillside to control some of those slides.
Right. Yeah. Control some of those slides.
The fence, all the fencing, and all the rest of that stuff. So
controlled, bringing down. I don't know what that's called. Controlled avalanches, I guess.
Yeah.
That as well.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I didn't mean to
Mother
go off
Nature.
in a weird,
Oh, no.
but I was just, because I was thinking of, our area up here where, there's that one spot, yeah, the Carson Spur. I mean, it's always that, I mean, after if you get a couple feet of snow and you know that it's going to be down for part of a day for everybody, they got to go get rid of it. Got to go blast it. So,
Yeah. And we try to keep folks as updated as we can on those closures in the passes, road closures that might have involved an incident on the roadways. And people can follow us on social media, Facebook and Twitter. We're constantly updating that. And then probably the best tool is our Quick Map tool.
Right.
And that's Quick Map at dot.ca.gov, or it's actually quickmap.dot.ca. And that will give you the up-to-date road information, the passes, and
It's a very nice tool.
So so that's really a valuable tool.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to get back to the wagon
Yeah.
trail. It's going to be about a 2.5 mile stretch for this phase one. It's going to be the actual realignment of wagon trail from Bonanza Mineway to Appaloosa Road. And that's considered the western segment of the wagon trail project. And we anticipate construction starting in early 2022 through early 2024. So it's about a 2-year project in construction. And so the realignment will be to both sides of State Route 4, and the midpoint is Pool Station Road. In 2012, CalTrans completed a project to improve the intersection of State Route 4 and Pool Station Road. So this western segment is going to tie into that improvement. And it's going to improve this 2.5 mile stretch operationally to improve the vertical and horizontal profile of the road, so motorists can make good driving decisions. They'll have better sight lines and can navigate that area much better.
I mean, because that's perennially been a trouble spot. This is, I know, completely off our list here, but internal discussions. How do you guys ever have with the onset of the GPS stuff and everything? We're talking about episodic stuff. Like every year, there's always a couple semis that get stuck on Sonora or get stuck on Ebbets, or the little hairpin that's there between Tuttletown. That little, that there was one a couple of weeks ago. It was a loaded tanker. They had to offload the tanker at that hairpin right there by Jackass Hill. That 115 mile an hour thing. Is there any discussion as far as because it's usually big rigs that just out of the area truck drivers, most of the locals, they'll all know. But is there any discussion? What's the discussion internally at all on any of that stuff? I mean, is there nothing you can do about it, or is it just? I mean, because a lot of guys, they followed their GPS over, over one of the passes. Is that
exactly? Yeah. So the truck drivers, God bless them, but they'll look at their GPS and look for the quickest route to get from point A to point B, not realizing just what you described, John, those hairpin turns, and some of them just cannot navigate that area. So recently, CalTrans did make some improvements to some of those areas to make it a little more accessible. But internal discussions, I think it's the county needs to pass an ordinance.
Right. But I was thinking more like on that Quick Map app. I was thinking if there's something, because that's a great tool. I was thinking of maybe an additional overlay or one of your pick boxes or something that would, as far as maybe something that's, maybe something electronically that could be done somehow to warn these guys, to where it's like, I
mean, that's a really interesting idea. Like if they could be pinged or something.
Something like
and
that.
At a point where they could turn around.
Right.
Or, I mean, I think that's an interesting.
I mean, from then it's there's not as much infrastructure cost. You're not actually, but there's just, it just seems like there's maybe a couple every years.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
If it would just like disable their vehicle. That's a bad joke. Please. But again, it's like road signs. If
they have to actually look at
it and they have to obey, the road sign. Maybe getting word to the trucking companies. I don't know,
something.
That sounds like a
big, I mean, it was just that one. The only reason I thought it was a couple weeks ago, that one that was the tanker that they had to offload, because it almost became a hazmat situation, because you had this tanker that was on that one hairpin by Jackass Hill, that was like, okay, they had to offload it to be able to, because then you end up with a hazmat thing if you drop a tanker down in that draw. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Anyway, all right.
We could talk about some other projects.
Sure.
If you'd like.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the Murphy's turn lane. So this is on State Route 4 in the town of Murphy's. So currently there is no left turn lane channelization for vehicles who want to make a left turn from State Route 4 into local streets or businesses. And so between Pennsylvania Gulch Road and Main Street, Lawrence Street, there will be a channel built. So that should help relieve some congestion and also prevent or hopefully curtail folks using the shoulders to pass motorists that are waiting to safely make a left-hand turn. So Pennsylvania Gulch toward Michelson Elementary School and Main Street and Lawrence Street to all those great shops, restaurants, and winery tasting rooms in Murphy's. That project is expected to begin this summer and conclude later this year. And what folks need to be aware of is that most of the work will be conducted at night, during which there will be one-way traffic control. So motorists should expect 10-minute delays while that work is going on. During the daytime hours, we expect traffic impact to be minimal.
And it should make it safer for the inebriated, right? So for the mile, I'm just not. Make it so they
coming out of
so they
some of the winery tasting rooms. It's such a great area there. I'm familiar with the wine industry in Lodi. I worked for the Lodi Wine Grape Commission. In fact, I'm still part-time tasting room associate, I guess you could call me. So folks come in and we tell them all about Lodi, and we have a tasting menu. And all the wines are the fruits from the Lodi appellation, and we're always sending people to Amador, and lots of people come down and say that they've been to Amador and Murphy's and how much they enjoy it. And in fact, Ironstone and Murphy's, fantastic winery. They do a lot of growing in the Lodi appellation, so I'm very familiar with them, and have had a wonderful time visiting the wineries in Amador County. And it's just fantastic. It's just so much fun.
Oh, it's been really nice to watch them grow too. The whole the maturation of the whole wine industry in the Motherlode regions has been pretty amazing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. There'll be a crack sealing project that's coming up later this month. And this one's going to have some impacts in Angels Camp. So this will be crack sealing on State Route 49, obviously to improve the road surface. So
right in the downtown area.
Yeah. So this is going to be from Vallecito Road to Capello Road.
Right.
The work will be done at night from 8:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. on 4 days. It'll be Sunday, June 27th. That's when it will start. Monday, June 28th, it will continue. Same hours, 8:30 to 7 each day. Tuesday, June 29th, and then Wednesday, June 30th. So crews will be finished, cross our fingers, the scheduled finish is 7 a.m. on Thursday, June 31st. So those nights, there will be some noise from the air compressors doing this work. Also, there will be one-way traffic control in effect, so motorists should expect 15 to 20-minute delays, take alternate routes whenever possible. And then here's an important thing too, is that parking is going to be restricted on Route 49 in Angels Camp from Angels Creek Bridge to Church Street, Pine Street.
Right.
And that will be from 8:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. on 2 nights, Monday, June 28th, and Tuesday, June 29th. So Wednesday and Thursday morning there won't be, and Sunday night there won't be any traffic restrictions, but there won't be parking between those two spots on
Well, at least you
Monday
guys are going to
Tuesday.
get it out of the way before the 4th of July weekend and stuff. So it should.
And we know that there's a demolition derby, I think, on Sunday night, so we're going to stay out of the way of that as well. But it'll be a quick project.
Question, I know this is, we've had questions on this, is on permitting for parades and stuff again. Is that, will those basically, after the June 15th opening period, is that when they're going to start accepting those into the queue again as far as some of the parade stuff?
I imagine we'll take our cue from the state of California as far as that goes. I imagine that to be the case. Yeah,
because right now, is even for like some of the 4th of July parades, there's just not, I mean, even if it gets opened on the, is my understanding, tell me if I'm wrong, is even if it gets opened up on the June 5th, there's not enough time to cycle those through and to get them back, get them processed and stuff for the 4th. Is that
Yeah.
some of the?
I don't know. I don't know really how quickly that would cycle. I would get through, and I imagine organizers would need to know probably much earlier than June 15th
Right.
whether or not they're going to be able to
because I know
hold
that
the parade.
up in Arnold they made the call that they're going to move it to a county road, move it to Blagan, and
Right.
go from Highway 4 to Blagan down to White Pines rather than even try to the traditional route has been on Highway 4.
Right.
But so they're not, it's not even going to try this year. So.
Right. Yeah, I think there was an effort definitely by Calaveras County to have it on Route 4.
Right.
Return it to its normal. But a very prudent decision, I'm sure, to use the county roads, and then hopefully maybe in 2022 we could get it
Back to
on
normal.
State Route 4.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. That would be
Yeah.
great.
Let's see. So we got the crack ceiling, so that's going to impact people in the Angels Camp area pretty significantly for at least a couple nights, right?
Mhm.
Couple nights there.
Right.
I think the turn lane for Murphy's, that's going to be a really nice improvement. I mean, that's going to be a real functional improvement for that area. I
Yeah.
think that's going to be a nice piece.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I
Yeah.
think, I think it will be. It will too. It'll improve traffic flow and just create a better environment for motorists trying to make a left-hand turn.
Yeah.
Off of that, that's safety is the number one concern and the number one priority of
And-
CalTrans.
Sorry if I'm throwing something out of left field in this for you, but High Country, Death Ride. Now we checked it. Now Death Ride, it's still on, right?
Yeah.
It's still on. So that
Right.
they figured it was out far enough that they could. So Death Ride's still on.
Right. It's
Okay.
on July 17th
Okay.
is Death Ride. Actually, was on a meeting this morning.
All right.
Going over the Death Ride. So it is scheduled for Saturday, July 17th.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have it back.
Yeah. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah. So they're expecting about 2,500.
Oh, it's
bicyclists
insane.
to
Have you ever
take
been
it.
up to it?
I haven't. No. I'm looking
It's
forward
one of
to
those
it
things
this
where
year.
everybody that's in, if you're in, especially if you're, your position for CalTrans and stuff like that, it'd be kind of, it's one of those things it's all of a sudden there's 3,000 cyclists in the middle of absolute nowhere. It's pretty amazing event. I mean,
Well,
it's,
I love the way it's marketed as like the California Alps. Isn't
Yes.
that a great way
Yes.
to kind of
Yeah.
frame it in your mind as to
Yeah.
what's going on? If you've never seen it, to
Yes.
just kind of think of the Tour de France or
oh yeah.
just being in the Alps. But
Well, I
we,
mean-
we just have this beautiful mountains and this
Yeah.
gorgeous scenery and a great cycling community. So this is
With
a great event.
15,000 feet of
Yeah.
vertical climbing and
Yeah.
that one. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's just a pain fest, basically. It's all it is. It's just a pain fest. But yeah, yeah, I'll probably go back up this year and we'll take some pictures. It's been a couple years since I've gone up and taken some pictures, but we'll try to do it again this year. Yeah, it's just it's amazing. There's always some fun stories, like people that pick it as like a honeymoon couple. That's that they picked to do the Death Ride on their honeymoon. It was one I talked to a few years. It's like that's
Commitment.
it is.
They're built to last, right?
Yes,
That couple.
either that or the marriage will end when they get back.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you're a cyclist. I'm
Ages ago,
Yeah, long
about
time
80
ago.
pounds ago. But
obviously I'm not. I've never seen a cyclist who's not in tremendous shape. Someone who's serious at it, but yeah, it's a very passionate group of people, and the
Yeah.
work that has gone into this. I mean, I was listening to this meeting, and they were going over the logistics, and it's just mind-boggling all of the pieces that have to come together to make this
Yes, it
event
does.
successful. And I think they've dotted the I's and crossed the
were they
T's.
talking about, there's always a recognition for people who come away from the farther. I mean, people will come from Europe to do this.
Oh, I
mean, people
imagine,
from
yeah.
all over the world.
Yeah.
It's one of those bucket list things for people. It's they got to go do. If you're a cyclist, you got to go do it at least once,
Yeah.
type of thing.
I would
So,
imagine if you're serious, you're going to be going to those events that are
Yeah.
big and
Yeah.
have all of the trappings, all of the fun things that go with an event like this. And the Death Ride has to be up there on the list.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
So let's see. Well, there's some of the things that you think the people in the area really need to be aware of.
Well, we do have the Alpine County Bridge Replacement
Yeah.
and Bridge Rails Project. I know that's not in Calaveras County, but
It
certainly a lot
impacts
of
us.
people that
Yeah,
go
definitely.
up into Markleyville will want
Yep.
to know that we're probably looking at a summer start to this, and it'll go into next year. It'll probably take 2 cycles to fully complete this project, but there are 4 bridges that are involved. 2 are on State Route 4, 2 are on, 2 are on 4 and 89, 2 are on State Route 88. And so one of the bridges is going to be the Markleyville Creek Bridge, which is going to be completely rebuilt.
Okay.
So that'll be in 2 phases.
Is that the little one before you get to town? You know, not the one over over the Carson River that's.
Correct.
Yeah, because
You're
that's a pretty good. Seems
Yeah.
like that's a pretty good sized bridge now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so this one's just the little one that's right before you get into town, right
Correct.
by the sheriff's office there, just before you.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly,
okay.
precisely. And then there are 2 bridges over the West Fork of the Carson River that are going to be
Yeah.
that are going to be impacted on this, and then also the Spring Creek Bridge.
Okay.
So, but the Markleyville Creek Bridge is kind of because it's going to be completely replaced, so
Yeah.
they'll do it in
Yeah.
stages. So one side will be done, they'll stop for winter, and then work on the other side.
Okay.
So there'll be one-way traffic control during that whole operation.
Sure.
We're looking into closing that street and having a detour, but we determined through our traffic management
Wouldn't
and
work.
operations, it just wouldn't work. The
Yeah.
streets are a little bit too narrow, and again, kind of a tight turn at Washington, I believe, and Laramie.
So you
if I'm
dump
not
all
mistaken.
all the commercial
So-
traffic you dump over into that as well, huh? Yeah.
Plus, I think just the maybe too a part of it had to do with the roads themselves.
Yeah.
And maybe that
Yeah.
increased traffic. Who
Yeah.
would take
Have you
care of
met
that.
Sheriff Rick from Alpine
I haven't
County?
had the pleasure. No.
Now, for one thing is, he actually commutes. He lives in Bear Valley, so he commutes on his snowmobile
Oh wow.
to Markleyville in the
Uh-huh.
winter.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
he uses Highway 4
That's great. Yeah. Yeah.
in the winter. Yeah, so he's a character. So if you ever, Sheriff Rick, I think his time. It's an insane time. It was. I may get this wrong, but I think it was like 47 minutes was his best time
Oh,
one
that's
time. I
great.
mean, his son used to be a racer, snowmobile. So yeah, Sheriff Rick, he commutes from Bear Valley during the, between the closure points.
Yeah. There's an Alpine County supervisor who probably is the most traveled
Oh yeah.
supervisor of
Yeah.
anyone in California or anywhere in the
Oh,
United
yeah.
States when the
Yeah.
passes are closed.
Terry Woodrow.
Yeah, Terry Woodrow.
Yeah, she's had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're, thank you. Thank you for the
Pleasure.
time.
Thank
I
you
know
so much.
sometimes, for coming up and letting us know. I know that a lot of the CalTrans crews up here, they're loved. They actually
great.
are. I know in some areas that may not be true, but in our rural areas, you guys are infrastructure. And because, we wouldn't move, especially in the wintertime, without you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure, believe me, and I hope you have me back on the show sometime.
We'll do it.
Okay,
Thanks.
great. Thank you.